So I decided to wake up early this morning to begin this ultimate reset because I want to make sure that I am getting this new year on a good note. So I woke up this morning and just did my bed, cleaned my room, and just set the mood in my room. And of course, I made myself a cup of coffee, which, if you know, I am a major coffee addict and cannot start my morning without my coffee. And now that I have a really clean space in my room, I want to make sure that I enter the new year feeling good physically and mentally. So some of the things that I'm going to be doing in this video include self-care, things like skincare, body care, hair care, and I'm also going to be doing some self-care for my mind. So doing things like journaling, reading, and then I'm going to be reflecting on 2023 and just looking back at all of the things that I manifested and just seeing if I accomplished any of those intentions and manifestations that I set for myself at the beginning of the year. So then I'm going to be setting new intentions and new manifestations for myself for 2024 and just writing all of those things down. And then lastly, I'm going to be creating a vision board for 2024, which is the thing that I am most excited for. And last year I created a vision board for myself and I made my vision board my wallpaper for all of my devices, which is something that I want to replicate this year as well, because I feel like having a vision board as your wallpaper or just printing it out or hanging it up somewhere that you can see every single day truly helps you manifest and accomplish all of these intentions that you have for the new year. So that's definitely something that I want to do again. So without further ado, I'm just going to begin this ultimate reset for 2024. So now that I finished with the glow up portion of this reset, I want to go ahead and take some time to reflect on 2023. So these were the two journals that I used in 2023, and I kind of want to go back and look at the things that I wrote down at the beginning of 2023. So this is basically everything that I wrote, and I kind of just want to reflect on all of these things and talk about the things that I accomplished and the things that I didn't accomplish. So the first resolution that I wrote down was working on my mental health, which I feel like I definitely accomplished in 2023. My mental health improved tremendously. I feel like one of the main things that truly helped with my mental health was journaling, which you can kind of see I basically almost filled up this entire journal. I feel like journaling felt like a safe place where I could just write down all of my thoughts, my feelings, and just anything that I truly wanted, which to me manifested like a form of therapy. The next thing that I wrote down was reading more books. I feel like I definitely accomplished this to a certain extent. So I believe I only was able to read 2 or 3 books in 2023, which I definitely want to read more going into this new year. And then the next thing that I wrote was educating myself, which I feel like I definitely accomplished this year as well, especially in college. I feel like I definitely learned a lot of new things, and especially going on to my second year, I knew a lot of things and was so much more familiar with campus classes. So yeah, the next thing that I wrote was investing and saving money. I definitely did save a lot of money in 2023. However, I did not invest my money. It's definitely something that I want to accomplish and do, but I definitely need to educate myself more on investing. But one thing I did invest into was my Depop business, which has grown so much over this past year. The next thing that I wrote down was studying abroad and graduating university. So I was not able to study abroad in 2023, but it is something that I'm currently working on. So it's definitely something that has been in the works. And graduating university, so that is also something that I'm currently working on as well, which I've been working towards since the very beginning of my college journey. My goal has always been to graduate a year early from college, and is something that I'm finally going to be able to do going on to 2024. So the next thing that I wrote was having a consistent morning and night routine, which is something that I definitely accomplished in 2023. More specifically, having a consistent skincare routine, which one of my main goals was to clear my acne, which I definitely have made huge improvements on. My skin is not perfect, but it's definitely improved so much this past year. So the next thing that I wrote down was having a workout routine, which is also something that I accomplished. I actually opened my first ever gym membership here back at home, and have been consistently going to the gym and just working on myself physically and mentally by just working out. The next thing that I wrote was self-care and self-love, which I feel like both things go hand in hand with each other. I feel like this year specifically, I was able to just love myself and take care of myself physically and mentally, and just become the best version of myself. So the next things that I wrote was being consistent on YouTube and other social media platforms, which is something that I feel like I definitely accomplished, but is something that I want to continue to work on. I haven't been so much consistent on YouTube, but I have been really consistent with TikTok and have grown so much and grown to love that platform. And I'm very proud of myself for just taking that leap of faith and putting myself out there, especially on TikTok, which was scary at first, but I'm so happy that I did that for myself, and it's something that I've been really enjoying doing. So yeah, but I definitely want to upload more on YouTube and just balance both social medias this upcoming year. So the last things that I wrote for my resolutions was getting a new apartment and getting a new car. So I was not able to find an apartment this year for like a lot of reasons, one of them being financial. If you don't know, I go to the University of San Diego, which if you know San Diego, you know that the city is really expensive to live out there. And so it was really hard for me financially to move out there, and finding roommates was not an option for me because most of my friends at the university either lived or were from San Diego, and so I was not able to find an apartment, and instead I'm currently commuting there, which was a really hard decision for me to make and for my parents as well. I feel like things happen for a reason, and I'm just so thankful that my parents have been so supportive with everything. And since I didn't move out there and I didn't get an apartment, I've actually been saving more money, which is helping me to get my new car, which is hopefully something that I'm going to accomplish in 2024. So now for the things that I wrote down for improvements was spending less money on clothes and makeup. So that's definitely something that was really hard to accomplish, especially because of TikTok and the hold that it has on just my spending habits, especially when I'm seeing so many people promote things and just give hauls on makeup and clothes. But it's something that I definitely want to work on and hope to work on. The second thing that I wrote down was maintaining a clean and organized closet. So that is definitely something that I did accomplish in 2023, and I actually did a entire closet makeover, which definitely helped me keep my closet clean and organized. The next thing that I wrote down was lowering my screen time. I'm not sure if I actually lowered down my screen time, so I wouldn't know if I actually did accomplish that or not, but I feel like my screen time isn't too bad. I believe it's like between 4 to 5 hours a day, which I don't think that's a lot. I've heard people whose screen time is literally 8 to 10 hours. So yeah, the next thing that I wrote down was having a healthier diet. So I definitely feel like I have improved my diet, especially my water intake, and just being more mindful of the things that I put into my body. The next thing that I wrote down was not comparing myself to others, which I feel like I definitely have improved on. And one thing that truly has helped me with not comparing myself or just looking at other people's lives, this gratitude journal, which I tried writing every day, or at least 3 to 4 times a week, and this journal has definitely helped me with that because I was constantly writing down everything that I was grateful for, and just taught me a lot of mindfulness. So the last thing that I wrote down was going out of my comfort zone, which is something that I definitely improved in 2023. I did a lot of things on my own and became so much more independent, and I traveled and I went out more with friends, which I feel like I lost a lot of those experiences because of the pandemic. But slowly over time in 2023, I was able to get back to those things and go out of my comfort zone and just be less isolated and surround myself with friends and family and loved ones. So, and I believe that is it for reflecting on 2023. Now I want to go ahead and journal my new resolutions for 2024. now that I finished journaling, I want to go ahead and talk about some of the things that I wrote down. Not all of the things, because some things are very personal and are things that I just want to keep to myself, but some of the things I will go ahead and share. So the first thing that I wrote down was putting God first and getting closer to my religion. So that is definitely something that I started working on towards the end of 2023, and is something that I want to continue to work on this new year. And some of the things that I wrote down that I feel like will definitely help me accomplish these things was being more involved in my church, which I feel like I definitely haven't done in a long time, and I want to get back into that. For many years I was actually a part of the church choir, and I kind of want to go back into that, and hopefully that will help me involve myself more in the church and with God. Another thing that I wrote down was reading the Bible, and it's something that I already started doing and implementing to my everyday life, just like reading 1 to 2 chapters every day. The next thing that I wrote down was spending more time with my family and loved ones. And what I mean is that I want to at least dedicate one day out of the week to just solely being with family and being with loved ones. The next thing that I wrote down was making more memories and capturing them. I feel like this year I definitely want to continue making new memories, going out of my comfort zone, and spending time with loved ones, friends, family. But I want to capture more of those moments. I feel like last year I definitely didn't capture a lot of those moments, and for many reasons I didn't, for privacy reasons, and also for just the reason that I just wanted to be present in those moments and live in those moments. But I want to at least capture 1 or 2 pictures every time I'm experiencing these memories with friends, family, and loved ones, and just look back at them. So I definitely want to start doing that more, either on my phone or just getting more into photography. Like at the beginning of the year I was definitely really into disposable cameras, so maybe going back to that, or even investing into a camera. So the next thing that I wrote down was traveling, and I wrote down either traveling to another city, another state, or another country. So I definitely want to incorporate traveling into this new year and do a lot of different type of traveling, either in California or in the United States or just out of the country. So I definitely want to at least travel once or twice. The next thing that I wrote down was saving up for my future. So things like my car, my apartment, traveling, and just for my future in general. So one thing that I did do differently for my resolutions for 2024 was that I was really specific with my resolutions, and I wrote down specific things and specific numbers, specific places, things of that sort, just so that when I look back I can see what I didn't accomplish. And I did write down a number for how much I wanted to save this year, so hopefully that is something that I accomplish as well. Another thing that I wrote down was investing, which I want to invest more into the stock market, and also to my businesses or future businesses that I want to do. So I also wrote down a specific number of how much money I wanted to invest this year. Then another thing that I wrote down was growing my social media platforms, so maybe making it a full-time job or just a job where I start to earn constant flow of income. So that's another thing that I wrote down. Then I also wrote down working with brands and receiving PR. This past year I did get to work with brands like Princess Polly and White Fox Boutique, but I definitely want to continue to work with more brands, especially when it comes to beauty related brands like makeup brands or just skincare brands. And then I also wrote down going on at least one brand trip. Always been a dream of mine to go on brand trips, so I wrote down 2 specific places. I wrote down either a brand trip in LA or in New York. So then I also wrote down that I want to achieve a certain amount of followers on TikTok and YouTube. The next thing that I wrote was graduating university, which I am very excited for and I hope I am able to do during the summer. I also wrote down studying abroad, which I hope to do either in the summer or in the fall. Then I also wrote down either getting an internship or being accepted into a program that's just related to the field and the career that I am studying in, just because I want to start getting more involved and getting more experience before I apply and go off to med school. The next thing that I wrote down was buying my first car and moving out, either to a new apartment on my own or with some friends. Then the next things that I wrote down was self-love and self-care and having a consistent skincare routine, hopefully having clear skin by this year. I know that perfect skin is not a thing, but I definitely want to clear my skin and just feel more confident about my skin and myself. So then the next thing that I wrote down was working on my mental health, and I wrote like little things that I could do to, you know, continue to work on my mental health, like praying, reading, therapy, journaling. Then I wrote down reading more books, and I set myself to either reading at least 4 to 6 books this year. And then I wrote down limiting my spending habits. So I want to stop buying unnecessary things or even just expensive clothing and makeup that I just don't need, and instead start being more mindful of those things and doing alternative things like thrifting, which is so much more sustainable. And that's definitely something that I want to get back into doing for myself. I mean, I do go thrifting often for my Depop, but I want to thrift more clothing items for myself rather than buying them online and being less of a fast fashion consumer. The next thing that I wrote down was working out and eating healthy. So I set myself a specific goal to at least work out 5 times a week and just leave Saturday and Sunday for rest days, and then eating healthy also 5 days out of the week, so Monday through Friday, and then during the weekends going out to eat and just kind of having like cheat days during those days. Then I also wrote down drinking less coffee and drinking more water, which is definitely something that I want to work on. If you know me, you know that I am a huge coffee addict, so I definitely want to limit my coffee intake and start to explore other healthier alternatives like matcha or teas and stuff like that. Then the next things that I wrote down was baking and cooking more. So towards the end of 2023, I started getting back into baking, and I forgot how much I loved baking, and I definitely want to bake more in 2024. And I believe those are all the things that I wrote down for my 2024 New Year's resolution. And now for the end of this reset, I want to go ahead and make a vision board for 2024. now that I finished with the last portion of this reset, which was creating a vision board, I just want to end this video off by saying thank you for watching and coming along with me as I reset for 2024, and I hope this motivated you to also reset and prepare for 2024, and I hope to see you all very soon. Bye.